Hi, Katie Morton.
And I'm Jennifer Palmer.
Together we are divinely guided. We are both intuitives, energy healers, and spiritual teachers.
And every Thursday night we come on here live to connect with your spirit guides and loved ones to answer any questions you may have.
Yeah. So welcome. You see some people here. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead and enter them into the comments. If you're coming to us from a Facebook group as opposed to one of our public pages, just do us a little favor and identify yourselves with your name before you pose a question, because for some reason in the groups, the name doesn't come through. So we just like to know who we're talking to.
Okay, and I'm not seeing any messages. Oh, there we go. Finally, sometimes there's a lag here. I'm like, okay, I'm not seeing any messages. It must be running really behind. I was worried we had a problem. Okay.
It's a little glitchy, but it's working.
Yeah, it's working. All right. So Julie Heitzler, hello. It's my second week. Any messages for me? And I'm so glad you joined us.
Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Julie Heitzler. A song I just heard.
What?
I've got something to say.
Okay. That means Usually when you get that, it means that there's something that they need to express, but they have not been expressing it.
So let's see what else we can get.
Yeah. Well, so what I got was someone came in and they were like really excited and they were like, yay, yes. Like, I was like, okay. So I don't know if they're connected.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. I'm not sure what this is yet, but I heard very distinctly, and I think it's from a loved one. It feels like a masculine, like a male figure. And I heard it's a bit of hit or miss. So I think it has something to do with you just kind of feel like sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't. It's around one specific subject. Like my feeling is either a relationship or it's like maybe like somebody at work or like a project at work, something like that. It feels a bit about you coming into your power. And I think that same man just said, don't be afraid. Whatever this is, make sure you're speaking your truth about it. It's really important. And I'm not even sure you really know what this is about, but whoever this is, and again, I don't know if it's a grandfather or a father figure of some sort, but that's how it's coming across, kind of fatherly like. But he's saying, the thing that you've been wanting to say, but you always just kind of bite your lip. Are you getting anything else?
Yeah, and I feel like this might be career related. And I don't know if this could be like maybe something that you want to do and you need to express either to perhaps like a loved one or a boss or somebody that there's something that you want to do, something where your skills, it feels very much like coming into alignment with your soul's mission in some way and being able to use your gifts and talents and skills the way you're meant to. You need to maybe overcome somebody else's resistance to that idea. I think that's it.
Yeah, I'm not getting anything else about it. Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Charlene.
Hey, Charlene. How you doing, lady? She says, hi, loves. Any messages for me tonight? Love, career, life.
So I do feel like this might be Joanne. Mm-hmm. And as some of you on here know, there was somebody who is a big part of our soul family, our tribe at Nourishing Journey, and within Divinely Guided as well. And she recently passed. and she's friends with Charlene. And I do feel like she said, don't be fooled. It truly is about the mission and the process of doing the mission. It's not about the outcome. And I think that what she's trying to say with this, and she's coming in pretty clearly, the focus is more, and we actually just did a video about this, the egoic focus versus the more soul-based focus. And most people, if they believe in spirituality, they feel like they're a soul, but they're living this human experience, and their perspectives and everything they do comes from the human need aspect of things, and the fears and the emotions and everything else that kind of goes along with that. I feel like what she's saying is to realign yourself more with that soul space and come at it from that angle, and to enjoy that process, enjoy the ride is what she is saying. Enjoy that process of becoming. I think it's been a while since you've really felt joy, and she really wants that for you.
Yeah, and I was also just hearing in chop chop, Missy, meaning like don't wait too long, don't because we can spend our entire lives in the sort of like mental exploration phase of the soul mission and just never get any traction on the ground in the physical in terms of actually doing something about it. So I do feel like she's saying to like, please, don't spend too much time figuring it out. It definitely feels like take actions, like real action steps in the direction of the soul's mission, and don't spend too much more time noodling it. It's like there are some ideas that you have of things that you feel like you can or should do, even if you're not 100% sure they're the right thing. It's like they showed you basically stabbing in the dark. It's like start stabbing in the dark at least, and then because we learn experientially in terms of soul mission stuff, we often have to actually do things and then sort of feel into it and kind of move through life that way, because otherwise we can spend the whole rest of our days in our head never actually doing the soul's work. So because often the way the soul's mission unfolds, it's like, imagine you're on this sort of slow moving river and there's these logs and you have to sort of like leap from log to log, and you can psych yourself up. Yes, psych yourself out by just like, you never make the first leap because it's like, oh God, the river is moving and I don't, what if that isn't the right log? What if it's an alligator, and you just never jump. So it's like, but to do it really well, it's almost like you have to go mindless. It's like, get out of your head and just boop, 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 leap from log to log without really thinking too hard about it. Because when you're moving into the journey of the soul's mission, it's not like you walk up to a throne and you sit down on it and you've arrived. Here I am doing the mission. Like it's a series of moves, and you have to be agile and kind of quick about it. And you know what? Sometimes you're going to fall off a log and fall into the river, and it's like, okay, well, no big whoop. Like another log's coming. Climb on. I don't know. More doing, less thinking is kind of what I'm getting.
I think that's it.
I think that's it.
Yeah. All right. Danielle. Good evening, lovely ladies, and Happy New Year. Happy
Same
New Year
to
to
you.
you. And I'm just going to jump down to her question. Any messages for me about 2020 regarding love, career, etc.?
Okay.
The only I heard, don't be afraid. I think that seems to be a theme tonight. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. The jumping forward, and you are pretty aware of your mission and trying to come from the soul space. Like I can see that about you. And but there's also a part of you that is so afraid to get hurt. There's and it's not walls maybe per se, but it feels like it's people pleasing, needing to be something other than who you really are. in an effort to receive love. And so I kind of feel like there's this, I want to be loved for who I am, but I'm going to show you this because, well, I don't think you'll love me for who I am or something. It feels like this, I guess it's just a deep-seated fear of rejection or not being loved, and having the heartache and everything that kind of goes with that. So what I'm hearing is be fearless. Don't be afraid to be everything that you are, as powerful as you are, as lovely as you are, as bright as you are, everything. Be that. And you don't need to be anything else. Like, just be that and be thrilled with it. And then I heard message complete. I don't know. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
So what I was getting for you in 2021 is to really work on, which aligns magically with Jenn's message, but it's shedding the second skin of the ego. And in order to achieve everything that Jenn is saying, working on deciding and choosing that you do not care what other people think of you. And it's just really critical for everyone who's trying to get on the path of their soul's mission to do that, to just make that choice of knowing that some people aren't going to like you. Some people aren't going to approve of you or like what you do, or they're just not going to even like your face. Like, that's just how some people are.
They really are.
They're just not gonna. And it's just being like, okay, well, I don't care. Other people's opinions of me are none of my business. And it's like getting into a little bit of that, that sass, Danielle, of just like, I don't care, I had to overcome a little bit of that myself tonight, of like, no, not everyone's going to like my flying saucer hair. And I was just like, I threw it up in like 5 minutes before we were going live. I was a little like, they're uneven. I was like, okay, well, I don't care, So yeah, anyway, they're just saying it's a really important part of for all of us, of everyone getting on the path of the soul's mission, of deciding that it is more important for me to be authentically who I am as a soul, and people can love me or hate me, but it doesn't matter. It's not going to take me off path of the mission, and I am not going to set out to win friends and influence people. It's not about that. It's about doing what my soul came here to do. And from that, some people, will naturally gravitate towards you, and some people won't. And it's just like, okay, well, whatever, just being a soul.
Well, and then when you're that authentic with who you really truly are, when you're of service on a much deeper level, and you're able to do what you are actually here to do, and there's no strings pulling you back. All right. So Rachel Rose Farber, hello, and any messages for me tonight?
Hey, Rachel.
So I was trying to figure out what this meant, but I heard, was it the George Michael song, Freedom? So I think it has something to do with what's been holding you back. And I think a big theme for you in 2021 is that, the idea of being free from that which has held you back. And I saw this image of you, and I know this sounds kind of weird, but it was like an image of you and like what I call like it was like a big pot of energy soup. That's the best way I can put it. And it felt just like murky and like not really in your power, and just a lot of energy and other people's energies and other people's expectations, and just it all mixing together and just kind of being like
a drag.
Well, it reminds me, Katie and I are doing this fast, and it tastes awful.
You guys.
It's like that. It's really awful.
Yeah.
But we're doing it.
But we're doing it.
And I feel like in 2021, what you're doing is you're getting out of that big nasty pot of blech. But I'm also hearing you. There's work that you need to do with it, and I think you're more than willing. A lot of things are unfolding, and you're going to be experiencing, I think, some good leaps forward in your own growth and your soul development. I just heard mission, so I think stepping further into your mission, or into your mission if you haven't yet, coming into your mission more. And I think facing some of your fears around that. So whatever that is, I don't really know what it is as far as like what you're going to be doing or what you plan to do or what you think you might do. But it just feels like that's facing the fears of that. I think being seen, judgment, and fear of failing. I think those are three fears that I think you're going to be facing some this year, just to kind of overcome those.
Yeah. I was also getting, when you mentioned the George Michael song and I was seeing the part of the video, it was really standing out to me. It was the part where there's like this, they're all supermodels in the video, but this one has a cigarette and she's like taking this deep draw on the cigarette. And what it represented to me was the idea of escapism and vices, because everybody has them. And there's like some that are considered like socially acceptable, like getting sucked into social media or like shopping or even judgment. Some people can like use their thought process of judging other people as an escapism. That's not you. They're just citing different examples. And that's all the way down to like the vices we all know and love, like, alcohol, food, pot. Like there's almost like everybody has a way that they like to escape. And so what Jenn was talking about is hard work and overcoming these things. And one of the things that prevents us from fully engaging in and doing the work is our escape routes and our ways of kind of checking out. People can even use spirituality. My favorite way of like checking out or my escapism can be like, oh, I'm going to channel the guys or I'm going to meditate instead of like feet on the ground and doing what I'm supposed to do when I'm supposed to do it. So it's like we can really fool ourselves into thinking these escape routes are virtuous, whatever they may be. So I'm just feeling like do a little personal accounting, a personal review, being really mindful with no matter what type of projects you pick up or substances you might engage in or like whatever these escape routes might be, and like really seeing them as such, because I feel like they might be tricky for you, or you might feel like you need them and you can't give them up or like whatever it is, or you might think it's a good thing and it's good for you, but it just feels like there's something in there that's hiding from you about it. And it takes just self-reflection. It's not something that anybody else could like point out to you or take from you. It's like up to you to be aware and to choose, I guess, better coping mechanisms or better ways of being. So
Interesting. It's reminding me, it's interesting. When I was, I think 17, I got one of my first jobs, and my brother told me, he was 5 years older than me, and he was like, the way to succeed is there's always something to do. Whenever you have idle time, find something to do. And it was interesting because I've always I've taken that really seriously, and I am constantly kind of balls to the wall,
from the window to the wall. Okay, never mind.
Anyway.
Different song.
And when I get home at night, a lot of times I'm just done and there's just nothing left. But I think there have been times in my life when I have been really passionate and ready for something, and I've had all the energy in the world when I get home, and I can just keep on going, and it doesn't matter. Um, and there have been times when I've had to reflect on, and I think that sometimes that can be my escape route is just shutting down. It's done. I'm done. There's nothing left, and yeah. I think this could be good for a lot of us to reflect for this 2021 new year. Um, on what ways can we, it's not about doing, it's also about being, it's both. But in what way can we stop wasting our time? We can be and enjoy and be a part of the process and love and everything else. But the doing is important too. And I just feel like that goes, and I don't know that that's for you, Rachel, but it does feel like it's for certain people on here. And I think you know who you are. Um, but yeah, make the most out of every moment that you can, whether it's going into meditation because you need a break, or it's, you know, paying your taxes, or doing whatever it is you got to do. The procrastination's real. And again, whoever this is, I feel like they're saying, again, this feels like a very generalized message for a lot of people. Don't waste time. The time of the ascension is now, is what our guides usually like to say. And when we keep putting things in the back burner and we don't take it seriously, and we don't take ourselves seriously, and we don't put mission first, when we're all done here, we're going to wish that we had spent more time doing the things that mattered, what we really came here for. So, okay, I think that's it. All right.
All right.
Christy Wren.
Hey, girl.
Any message for me tonight?
Okay. Thanks for the massage the other day.
She's really good.
Yeah, she is.
Acupressure too, by the way. Just saying.
Yep. And she turned on her Reiki hands. Oh, it's fabulous. Yes. Okay.
So I was trying to figure out what they were showing me, but they're using something that I've just recently started watching. I just started watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because it's something Whitney recommended. And they have this thing. It's like an alien technology that gets put on these guys' bodies, but it starts off on the arm, and they call it centipede. But what it does is it makes them hugely powerful, like just powerful beyond belief. And what I saw was it looked like that was being put on your spine. I know that sounds weird and creepy, but I think what they're trying to show me is like your foundation, because your spine is a lot about your foundational strength and your core and who you are. But I feel like they're saying that core part of you is really getting empowered. And you're really doing a good job of kind of owning that. You're really stepping into it, and with some of the things that you're trying to accomplish this year, and it's really good.
So I'll just
go for it.
So what I was getting actually around the same time you were getting all that was just that for you to be able to see how much that you have grown and matured, and give yourself some credit, and to look back at who you were 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and just they want you to acknowledge the growth that has occurred within you, and to help you to keep that momentum moving forward. One of the strategies I used to use, I used to be like sort of like a life coach. And one of the strategies I used to use to help people was to tell them when you do good, to give yourself credit for it. Because when if you don't give yourself credit and you don't give yourself those kudos when they're deserved, this isn't like empty, like giving people pats on the back who don't deserve it. I'm definitely not about that.
Participation trophies.
Yeah, no, it's not about that. It's truly seeing when you do good, because that enables you to keep going. If you just feel like you're taking all these actions and like, oh, I'm not growing and it's not working, then that's why people give up and they don't progress along the path. It's really important for you at this point to just kind of like take stock and to congratulate yourself. And what we often have to do is do an honest accounting too. It's like, look at both sides of it, like see how far you've come, see where else that you want to improve, but like do it gently, like not in a way that's going to be discouraging at all, but doing it in a way that really pulls you forward on the path with some joy and enthusiasm. And yeah, like, I'm really proud of you. Like, Christy has joined our soul growth group and she's working on her intuition. And that's awesome. That's amazing. Like, imagine a year ago, you couldn't have done that and you're able to get messages. And
well, and so just real quickly as a plug.
Okay.
Everybody in our soul growth group is growing. They're improving their intuitive skills. We're having great conversations. We're challenging ourselves, and you all really should join.
Yeah. So go to divinelyguided.tv and check it out.
Yeah. So what I heard, actually, Chrissy, what made me think to do that is because one of your relatives, I think it was your brother, said she's killing it.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Did I interrupt you? Were you finished?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all good.
All right. Okay. Whitney, hello, amazing ladies. Any messages for me regarding embodying my warrior self in regards to my mission? Thank you. So the first thing I saw, and I wasn't sure what it meant, but I'm just going to tell you because they showed it to me, but it was like a carrot, but the carrot being peeled back and peeled back and peeled back. And I was like, well, what does that mean?
Fractals of carrots.
I know, right? And then they showed me opening a door and then going through another door and then going through another door. It's almost like door after door after door after door. But I think what they're showing me is like the layers of going deeper, the layers of learning more about who you are and coming into alignment and I think some of it's like shedding the distortions and the so-called reality, whatever this is, and a lot of the things that we foundationally do things from, like our foundational beliefs and understandings and ideas. I think even as spiritual humans, when we have that spiritual focus, we still operate from certain foundational beliefs and understandings. And I don't know that there's any real way around that, but I feel like you're shedding some of that so you can come to, more of a pure understanding of everything and who you are and what's happening around you. And you're doing a really good job of as well with all of that. And someone, I think it was a loved one, but I'm not positive. But it feels more like a loved one. But it's one of those things where it's like you just keep you keep peeling the layers, and it's like, well, when is this done? Like that, the layer after layer after layer, or door after door after door, and it just seems like, does this ever end? But you're doing a really good job of holding the space and doing what you need to do and keeping motivated and moving forward. And yeah, there is an end. I mean, there is an end and there isn't. I mean, we're always unfolding and all things are always moving. But in this idea of what you're working through right now, there is an end. I think that's it. I'm not feeling anything else.
Okay. So what I was getting, similar complimentary message, was
Mm-hmm.
so when Jen was saying, going deeper into who you are, and it was the idea. So we just did. So this video that we just created is not up yet because we have to do the editing on it. But what we talked about was the ego and ego versus the soul, and our goal is to be the soul. So the soul is basically nothing but love. It's just that it's white light, it's love light, light love. It's God, right? And it doesn't have a personality. We come here, obviously we get a personality. Personalities are fun. Look at my wacky personality. I'm wearing like fluorescent pink. It's like, so we all do our little shtick, right? But that's not what it's about. And one of the things that the guides have showed me before, it reminded me of, talking about all those layers and layers. We have layers of ego. So in order to access the soul, it's like, we really have to not spend so much time curating and presenting ourselves. It's really more about peeling away the layers of that's not to say like, okay, like don't shower and dress yourself. Of course, we got to like take care of the body. You got to like take care of the meat suit. And yes, it's fun to do the things so we can like present ourselves and look a certain way or whatever. But humans in general, we spend way too much time like doing all these cute things. I mean, like, do you like me? Do you like me now? What do they all think of me? Da, 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 da. Everybody does it, and we spend way too much time on it as opposed to just being love and feeling love and exuding love. And one of the things the guides have been saying to me a lot lately is less thinking, more knowing. So it's just the idea of dropping into the soul, being love. And when our mind starts like, what it does, it's like a circus up there for all of us, really. Thinking. That's what the brain does. The less we think often, the better off we are. So it's really just learning how to just be that shining, loving light that you are, without needing to necessarily be perceived in any particular way, not needing to present yourself in a particular way. And I think that's it.
Yeah, and I think to wrap that up, because I feel like this is a message for a lot of us as well, you can present yourself, you can do whatever you want, you can put your hair up in really fun little curly things and wear scarves or whatever. That doesn't matter. It's about the expression that you're trying to bring forth and the energy that you're putting out there, not about what you're receiving from others because of it, if that makes sense. And so if you're in alignment with that, whatever this is, if you're in alignment with that, then that works. You know what I mean? But if you're not, then are there adjustments that need to be made? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes it doesn't really matter. But if it's preventing you in any way from doing what you came here to do, your soul's mission, then it's time to really look at it. Yeah. Okay.
I like that.
All right. Michelle Crutchley, any messages?
Okay.
Any messages for ladies is what she wrote. But
probably for me, ladies.
yes.
Okay.
All the ladies of Earth.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what this means yet, but I'll just say what I got in case you're getting anything, because it was really quick. But it was like an image of what I thought was like a train engine or something, but it might just be a car engine. I'm not sure what it is, but it was black, and it like poofed this big smoke and like backfired. I'm not sure what that is. So I'm assuming maybe something's backfired or something didn't go quite the way you wanted it to.
Actually, the image that I saw was you sort of like rising up into space. It felt positive, like as if, spiritually or nailing the ascension or something. Things felt good, going well. But then all of a sudden, you just sort of started to spiral and like drift off into space, but like doing this sort of roll. And it was like,
I've done that before.
I was like, that wasn't too good. So, and it did feel like there's something sort of off track or out of alignment going on. And I just heard it comes from within. Is that it? So what they just said is it looks like it's coming from outside of you, and perhaps like it's not within your control, but everything originates from within. It all comes from within. That's what I'm hearing. So it feels like, the message is really to like do what you got to do to get your footing again. Get back into alignment if you feel like you've come out of alignment. And I just heard get back on track. So whatever that means to you.
I'm also hearing don't be afraid again. And I think sometimes when they say don't be afraid, I think sometimes we don't always know what we're afraid of until we do something like, well, if this thing happened, I don't know, like I accomplished XYZ, then what? And a lot of times your fears start coming to the surface. So if you ask, if this, then what? And suddenly, like you'll start realizing, ooh, I'd be afraid of what people would think. Ooh, I'd have a lot of eyes on me, or ooh, what about this, or what about that, or my husband, or whoever might not approve, or whatever that is for whoever is hearing this right now. I think this is important. Facing your fears doesn't mean like you're necessarily even aware of it. It pops up out of nowhere. You didn't even know it was there. And then it's like, oh, Lord. Yikes.
Yeah. This feels like it's about soul mission work.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like there's something you're supposed to be doing, and you're supposed to be doing it, but you're not doing it for some reason. And there could be some sort of a, like Jen said, like maybe like an unknown resistance there. I just heard explore it, get over it, and then move on from it. Don't let it trip you up. Yeah, please. Yeah.
So, but someone is bringing in this example of a really good way to think of it is in simple terms. I'm sure there are people on here who could use extra money. And one of the questions that you could ask is, well, what would happen if I had $1 million? Then what? And all of a sudden, all these negative things might start coming to you. Like, well, people would want to borrow money. People would only like me and speak to me because they wanted money. They want something from me, or I would waste it and then end up broke anyway, or whatever it is. But these things would kind of start coming up for you on whatever the issue is. And then what needs to be healed. Then you move forward and you actually see a healer or do the consciousness work or whatever it is that you can do to help move through that issue and make it not an issue anymore. And I think that's it. Did you have anything else?
Nope.
All righty. You want to read that one?
Sure. Liz Edmondson says, hello, pretty ladies. Anything for me? Okay.
All right. While we're tuning in, why don't you guys give us a like, a love, a care, whatever it is. Give us something, an angry face, a sad face. I don't know, something.
Or go to divinelyguided.tv and check out our retreat coming up in March, 2 short months away, less than 2 months now. So if you're going to join us in Florida in March, please do.
We're going to connect with our souls.
That's right. We're going to teach you how to connect with that soul of yours, that pretty, pretty soul.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Liz, let's see what we got. Well, this is a bit random, but they want me to talk about programming the toroidal field.
Mm.
So going to explain this real quick. You guys, if you want to know what I'm talking about in visual terms, if you go to Google Images and you type in TORUS, it'll show you an image of a torus. It's a geometrical term. It's a donut shape, and its energy moves sort of like this. So you have a torus around your body. It's an energetic field, and the energy sort of flows around you, around the torus. And we can program the torus. So I had a client yesterday who she works in a hospital. Hospitals are kind of energetic hotspots. There's a lot going on there. And she asked me how she can protect her energy. It often feels a bit, flooded, a little hard. So what you can do is just sort of, you can sort of hold your hands out and feel that flow of energy. And you can just say something like, I program my torus to, and then you can program it to do whatever you want. So one example could be to deflect all energies that are negative, or to deflect all energies that aren't for my highest good, or to only bring in divine white light. You can program it to do whatever you want. Programming is temporary, doesn't last forever. I don't know why. I wish it would.
Because then as soon as we go into the hospital or whatever, we're like, oh man, I'm going to get bombarded with energies. You immediately undo what you just tried to program. Yeah, because everything you're thinking.
Well, the point is, let's say you're going to walk into the hospital and be bombarded with energies. You use it as a tool. You program the torus so that you're not bombarded with energies. That's the whole point of it. So, yeah, but just know you're going to have to refresh it like throughout the day. It's not going to last forever. It'll last you a little while. Then you just program it again. It's all good. As we've noticed, any energetic program, even if you say, keep it going forever, it just won't. Did you get anything else?
No, I'm really not getting anything else. Okay. Julie Getzinger.
Hey, Julie.
I'd love a message from my spirit guides.
Okay. I just heard, you're doing great. Stay high vibe. It feels like there's some, I don't know, tricky stuff around you, or other people coming out of alignment. And it's like, don't lose your balance. This rigmarole. Stay high vibe, trust, stay in faith. But it does feel like there's something to navigate here.
Well, what I heard was, and it feels like it's a loved one, a masculine, like a male figure. But he said, take the bull by the horns. And it felt like he was saying, you have been taking the bull by the horns. And then I don't know if something stopped or if it was just slowed down or you got redirected or something happened. But I think they want you to come back to taking the bull by the horns. I think this has something to do with your career and mission work. Maybe other things too. It might be more than one thing. I'm hearing it is. And whoever this is, they are emphatically going, you have everything you need within you. You have it.
Yeah, and I just heard, don't be distracted too much by the outside dramas. They can really pull you off balance if you let them. But ultimately, they're not important. It can feel like it, though. It feels like there's people pushing your buttons. And I just heard, turn your focus to the mission and getting it done. And I heard figuring out what you want to present and how, and doing it. Don't overanalyze or be too much in fear. And they're also just pointing out, when we're preparing a presentation, for example, sometimes we can really like make ourselves crazy and plan it to a T, and then we get up there and something else is going to come out anyway, or we're going to make a sort of a game time decision, so to speak. And you're really good at that. So it's like, just remember that you're fleet footed, and you'll handle it. And it's kind of like, plan to a degree and then just let it go. Like, keep going like that. Keep doing that.
I'm not getting anything else.
I'm not either. I hope that was helpful.
Good to see you, lady.
Yeah.
All right. Jess Mac.
Hey, Jess Mac. She says, good evening, ladies. Any messages for me? I just heard you need to find your voice. You have a lot to share, but it feels like you don't know how, like maybe what medium, like what vehicle to put the sharing into, and what exactly to say and how. And it's time to figure it out and move forward. And I'm just hearing like, they're sort of like rattling off a list of options, and it was like a blog, a website, a book, like podcast. And it feels like start with wherever it's the path of least resistance for self-expression. Like the way I started off was with writing, because it's non-threatening. I don't have to like present myself. I can, just hide behind a computer. And it was like that served me really well for many years. It started off as like a personal blog. I eventually moved to public writing and professional writing, and then widespread writing. It was like sort of step by step. Then, we started doing videos, and it was like, you don't have to figure it out all at once, and I wrote a book in there somewhere. So it was like kind of a progression, but it's like, just start somewhere. You don't have to have all the answers at once, and you don't have to have the finished product on day one. It's like, just start. It's like throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks kind of approach. It's like a scatter shot, like just do something. It doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't even have to be seen by a ton of people. I just heard, just get to expressing, like get to expressing yourself. It's a short life, and you want it to be well lived. And it's like, don't let your song die inside you, kind of a message. I just heard it's beautiful and it needs to be shared. I just asked, is song literal? They said no. So
I was just hearing, believe in yourself a lot more than you do, because you've got enormous gifts that you're not, I don't know if it's you aren't seeing, but you don't see how deep it is within you and how much good it can do for others. And they really want you to believe in yourself, believe that you can do a lot of things. And I think that you hold yourself back and don't believe. It's almost like the self-confidence isn't there or something. And I was trying to tune into what the emotions or feelings were behind it. And it was like, there might be a little bit of shame in there somewhere, of not feeling good enough in some way. Just maybe even like deserving, do I deserve to really make it and do a really great job and be successful in whatever this is? And it's like, there's like these blinders, and I think that keeps you from seeing next steps. But I think really, to be able to see all those next steps, you need to believe and know that you've got these gifts that are just right there. And they're really valuable. And I think that's it.
yeah, I feel like you just need to do it, whatever
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Cynthia Liang. Nice complimentary colors. Sorry, I thought it was a question.
And she said, and nice do. Well, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
right. A nice do. Yeah. All right, Jillian Jacqueline. Hi, ladies. Any guidance for me? Need a little help finding what direction to go in.
And that's my dog horking something up in the
Yes.
corner, in case you're wondering what that awful noise is. It's not us.
All right, so Jillian, I feel like what they're saying is, and I think I think this is important for all of us here. We're talking a lot
Yeah.
about ego versus mission, and like being in the soul space.
Mhm.
And what they're saying is the reason why we often don't know where we're going is because we're trying to do it from that egoic space of what will make people happy, and how can I earn love and survive and thrive in this world, in this 3D world, as opposed to what did I come here for, and what gifts am I bringing to humanity. And they want you to get into the space of what gifts am I bringing into for humanity. And it's funny, the funny thing about mission is you can be doing your mission while being a janitor and feeling like you're not having an impact on very many people, but maybe you're seeing one or two people that you're inspiring, and then it becomes a domino effect, and then they do something, or you could be a public speaker and speak to thousands of people and make that difference that way. One is not better than the other. There is no right or wrong way to have your mission. And so it's not like somebody should ever quit their day job unless they really feel strongly they're supposed to. Quit your day job if you feel like you should quit your day job. If that feels like it's out of alignment to your mission, then quit your day job. I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm just saying, if it's doesn't feel like it's out of alignment, or you don't see how you could survive necessarily, and it just doesn't feel like it's in alignment, because sometimes we have to make the leap. So there's that too. But, then fine, keep your day job, but find a way to bring that energy and that gift of who you are to affect humanity as much as possible, while also doing the inner work and really looking within. And so as much as we're giving and we're trying to be of service, we're also being of service to ourselves in the way that we are looking within to heal and love and nurture who we are, so that we can also then reflect that back out to others. And it's like this really positive feedback loop of loving self and loving others, and loving self more than loving others more. And it's a really beautiful process. But get into that space, because that's the space where you're going to find your next steps that really are in alignment, that you're going to feel like are coming from a good, healed space. Because when we're coming from distortion and wounding, which is often where we're making decisions from in our ego space, we're making mistakes all over the place. We're just constant wrong moves. And so really work on self-love, self-confidence, going within, observing, like who become the observer, like who is the one really thinking those thoughts and having those emotions, and kind of like learning to just get to a deeper space within and not be so involved in the 3D for a little bit every day, just to really disconnect in that way, and get to know the deeper part of you, because that's where your direction is going to come from. Anything else?
I think you got it.
All
That's
right.
it.
Shawnee Nicole Drake, any messages from my guardian angels?
Okay.
I'm not sure what this means, but I see you cooking, or I see somebody cooking. It was like chopping vegetables and throwing it into a fire pan. And I don't know what this means. But then I see you like throwing the vegetables out of the pan and just be like, I don't know. And like vegetables are flying. And then I saw you go, oh, I don't know what any of this means.
Okay.
What are you getting?
it was this sort of like, I don't know, it felt like this big, like high level guide came in and said, "Dear one."
Oh, I love it when they do
Yeah.
that.
I don't know if I'm paraphrasing or if this is really what they said, but essentially, like, it's not about the meat suit. So the meat suit, the physical body. And this, again, it's like this consistent message that we've been receiving all night, but it's about, we all place too much concern on the 3D material world. And it really is the time for all of us to go in and access the soul. And if you don't know what your soul's mission is, to really spend the time and the attention to figure it out. And if you do know what it is, putting serious time and attention into executing on that and getting it done. And that the message felt like the number one focus for you and for all of us here really needs to be to put the balance of our time and attention on the soul, doing the healing work and achieving the soul's mission, and really getting curious about, why am I on planet Earth? Why was I born here? Because what we've been told is that there was, this is a really popular time to incarnate onto planet Earth. And if you were given this opportunity, which you all have been given this opportunity, because here you are listening to us on planet Earth. We all made it. And it's not to be taken lightly, this opportunity. It's really to be used and explored and given the proper time and attention. And like our guides really like to say a lot, ladies, lately, is that it is the time of the ascension. And what that really means is that it's very, very important that we all get on the path of our soul's mission. And if you don't know what it is, figuring out what that is, perhaps even going to an intuitive and getting clues, and asking, what might that be? Just feels like a lecture, like for all of you. Like, get on it.
Yeah.
And don't let yourself get too distracted by 3D stuff and physical stuff. This is the time of year that people are like, oh, resolutions, I'm going to lose 30 pounds. And it's like, take care of the body. Yes. Eat well. Yes, sure. All of us should do that. The body is the temple of the soul. After all, it's so that we can be our best and to live the soul's mission. That's really what the body is for, to live the soul's mission, and keeping that top of mind.
And I just keep hearing Reiki, Reiki, Reiki. And I think it's for you, but I also think it's for other people. Not sure if it's something, like I wasn't getting clear information around if it's a class you should take or go to a healer and get some work done. Maybe because it's more of a generalized message, it's different for different people. But whatever that is, whatever Reiki means to you, look into it.
Yeah.
So the beauty of getting energy healing or receiving attunements and activations and energetic transmissions and classes and things, honestly, for those of you who are interested, do it as often as you can, whatever you can afford, as often as possible. Because every time you get a transmission, and do it with people that you trust too. You don't want to just go to anybody. Energy transmissions and energy work and things like that. It's important to go to someone that you feel aligns with you. But what happens is, and a lot of people I've noticed, as soon as they start waking up or getting that itch to check out something like Reiki is the most common one because you see it all the time. But anything else, other attunements and activations, angelic, anything, a lot of that's going around too. It helps open up your channel. It helps you become a better intuitive, helps you make better, wiser decisions a lot of times because you're getting closer and closer to who you are as a soul, and you're clearing away a lot of the distractions and wounding and distortions and things that are around you. Every energy healing session, every activation, every attunement, everything, it all adds up and really helps shape a better foundation for you on your mission work, which we all have mission work. So I can't speak highly enough about, really spending time and digging into energy healing. And I think that's it.
All right. I think that is it for the evening. It is 8:01. So
right, guys.
Thank you everybody for joining us. Last plug, go to divinelyguided.tv and we will see you next Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So have a great week.
All right. Bye, guys.